Alright, we're back with some more Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I'm just going to continue doing some stuff on Chapter Challenge. Let's do this. Strife Fair says, "Morning, Dan." Hey, buddy, how's it going? You can shoot the things, Ryu, it's fine. And this is on Warrior mode, since I've already done it on Mentor and Master Ninja. So no pressure. Nice and easy. Smooth sailing. Could be better. Didn't have a good night, so I'm just tired, and I was just sitting here like zombie, thinking, oh, I think I'll play a little Ninja Gaiden, and then I thought, well, might as well stream it then. And here we are. How come that one just disappeared? That's weird. Yeah, and this section is not good for my bad internet connection in terms of streaming. It, the fog or the mist just makes the stream look so pixelated. Come get it. Come get some cooking. I wonder why for that UT they make him do the same grunt 3 times. Watch out! He's pretty much dead. Yeah. No pressure. Yeah, it's understandable. Had a rough sleep myself and couldn't find anything to do. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I went to bed at like 1:30, woke up at 5:30, tossed and turned for like 20 minutes, and I'm laying there like, I can't be bothered with this. I can't be bothered. Then you pick up your phone, you scroll for a while, and then before you know it, you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna get up. And then you just feel like crap all day. Tired eyes and foggy brain. So forgive me if I'm not as animated as I normally am, but, you know, I wanted to play some of this and I figured I might as well stream it. Because I'll still answer people's questions if they ask me stuff. Or try to, anyway. Don't do that. Don't do that. I wonder why there's no atmospheric echo there for his voice when he's jumping up that shaft. You'd think it would be echoing like crazy. See, the lighting here is actually really nice. I want to check something. Hang on. Alright, let me bring up the camera, and then let's zoom around a little bit. Whee! Now how does this look? I feel like it looks different than the previous chapter. Like the water's more blue than it is kind of muddy color. Let me go back to the start, if I can find out where the start is. I know where it is. I think it's over here. Whee! Almost. Now we're in the middle of a wall. Let me go up. There, now let me see. So, I think it's over here. Yeah, it is. Yeah. What the heck? Look at this lighting. It's so much better than what we actually get on Chapter 5. Look at how good that looks. Everything doesn't look beige. I wonder if it's possible to extract the lighting conditions of this chapter, of this section, and apply it to chapter... I mean, it is, because Fiend Boosted did the snow mod or whatever. So I'm sure if we can find out the exact values that this section is, we could apply these to that chapter and then actually make it look better. This is much nicer. Like, look at that. I would like to play that chapter with this lighting. Hey, it's 9. You're the same 9 from the Discord, right? That told me about the save data for the emulator?
Finally. Oh.
Yeah, thanks again. Like, that was awesome. finally being able to import all my saves, because I tried to do it years ago and they were really janky, and I converted them all and tried to unencrypt them all to make them work with the emulator. And for some reason I only was able to get them to be like Warrior. I don't know, something went wrong with them and they didn't work right. And so I was stuck with Warrior mode saves on my emulator. Whereas this time, now I've got all my freaking Master Ninja saves for every chapter on New Game Plus. So I basically have Chapter Challenge on Ninja Gaiden 2. And now I get to do that on the emulator, which is awesome. So I can't thank you enough for that. It's nice to ask a question and immediately get the exact answer you're looking for. Or in this case, even better. Excuse me, do it now. Do the thing, that's it. Nine says emulators are kind of in their own world, to be honest. I wish using them was a bit more streamlined. Yeah. Usually it's the more popular ones, or the ones that have like, well, the more popular ones tend to have bigger teams working on them, so they end up with more features. I don't know how many people are working on the Xena emulator. The Xena? I always said Xena. The 360 emulator. I'm pretty sure that isn't there only one guy working on that, or is it like a few people? It's definitely coming along though, compared to how it was like several years ago. It's really nice now that we can install DLC and save data like it's nothing. It's fantastic. Get off me, please. Nice face. Strife Fair says, did you see the trailer for Ghost of Yotei? Same makers as Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, I did see it. I guess I just lost interest. Kind of a curveball, too. I was expecting a sequel, not a different character in a different time. I mean, I'll be honest, for a while now I've really wanted a Korean version of that kind of story, because I've seen plenty of period dramas, you know, set in Korea, and some of them are really cool, and the fighting is amazing in some of these shows. Like there's a show, I think it's called Six Flying Dragons, and I was like, dude, I want a game like this. Closest thing is that one Korean game that's going to be based on the TV show Kingdom. You know, it's going to have a bunch of zombies. I'm kind of done with zombies, but it did look cool. And, you know, there's that Korean movie Rampant that's, again, it's got zombies in it, but the main guy's got a really cool Chinese sword, because he comes over from China. Because he's the prince of the kingdom, but he left and he was in China for a while. And when he came back, he had this really cool sword. And he fights the frickin' zombies, and it's so badass. And I was like, dude, I want a game where the main character has a sword like that and fights like that, because it's so cool. It seems like a lot of the games we get out of Korea are kind of the futuristic ones, or sort of like anime-ish kind of games. You don't get a lot of oldie worldy Korean games. And I'd like to see some. We're starting to get a lot more of those out of China now too. Like there's that one, I can't remember the name of it, but there's that hack and slash game that's coming out at some point. The Chinese one that looks like a literal, like Ninja Souls Chinese game. Like, the main character looks pretty cool, and the fighting, the animations for the fighting look amazing. I wish I could remember what that game was called. He has like one of those round hats, you know, the round straw hats on or whatever, and he's wearing like black. Come here. Oh, bored of the dual swords. Let's go back to these for a while. This, rather. I thought about the flail for a second there, but decided, you know what, I want to use the Gaiden sword. D-Death the Kid says, you're talking about Phantom Blade. Yeah, that rings a bell. That must be it. Phantom Blade 0. That must be it. Like, the animations in that looked outstanding. Who knows how it actually plays? It might not be something I like the feel of, but, you know, it looks neat, and hopefully there's a demo of it at some point in the future, because I'd like to try it out. See, this is why I like to interact with people in the chat. When I can't remember things, they know. Somebody in the chat will say, oh, are you talking about this? Yeah, that's the one. By the way, did you know about my past comment that we got scammed big time? What? So, you said, to all the people, we need to combine our anger. Fiend Busa found out that the OG Ninja Gaiden 2 files are in the NG2B games files, but it's just locked. So Team Ninja lied to us. It's time to claim what we deserve. Can you elaborate on that? When did he say this? Because I know that there are leftover files from Ninja Gaiden 2. Heck, they're in Sigma 2 Master Collection too. Like, there's even a few files from Ninja Gaiden 1 left over. Like, they're kind of sloppy with their cleanup. Makes me wonder if, like, those files are there because if they got deleted, it might break something in the game because, you know, some kind of spaghetti code situation. But I'm curious, can you elaborate on that? Because it's one thing to just have a few files left over in the game files that don't point to much or do anything, but I'd be really mad if the original game is just there under the hood and they just can't be bothered to make the original NG2 the thing that's working. Because I assume it was just leftovers. Nice face, buddy. Watch out for... Stupid. Some grade A slice in action. Come here. It makes me wonder if maybe those files are there because they're still working on them. Maybe they are going to make it play like the original. I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't know why I would say such a thing. They're not going to do that. If they were going to do it, why wouldn't they just wait and then release it? Gosh, this just isn't efficient. Oh, I landed in that. I landed in it. Thanks for the blue, fellas. Got me right back up. So when he made the tracking mode to correct, he got asked about it in a comment, and he said he found them like the D-lim, Windshirkin, etc. Yeah, that's just the same leftover code that was also in Sigma 2, says 9. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just leftover code. There is a lot of stuff floating around in there. It does make me wonder what Sigma 2 is. Like, how much of it is redone and how much of it is just OG Ninja Gaiden 2? I don't actually know the process they did to port Ninja Gaiden 2 over to the PS3, because they made so many changes. And I'm not sure if it's like bits and pieces from 2 put into something else that's new, or if they still took the source code for Ninja Gaiden 2 and just did lots of things to it. I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if Sigma 2 is actually just Ninja Gaiden 2 that's heavily changed, or if it's its own thing that was made to be like the original 2 with some stuff thrown in there. You know, some assets, some numbers. Whoa, where'd you guys come from? Do the graveyard spin, please! Yeah, that one. Some enemies decide they just don't want to be de-limbed, and they'll just die. Oh, I see, that's where they came from. They came out of the frickin' ether. Fine, the scythe is too cumbersome, so you're gonna get frickin' minced. And so are you. You're gonna get double mincing, too. Come on. Don't get stuck. You could have gone around there. You could have just done a little shimmy. Come get it, you frickin' big dogs. Come get it. That's it. Oh, I guess you didn't want it. Come get this one. There you go. Gaming Knights Neo Misaki says, my hunch is it's a separate team that took OG2 files and heavily modified, because the credit list is significantly shorter than OG2 on the PS3 and had so many of them different. That's interesting. I hate it. You do a big move, you know, look at this. Like, the flying swallow literally doesn't stun that guy, and he just grabs you out of it. Nice face, though, fella. Zipman X says they made it in a year, so definitely wasn't made from scratch. Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to be, but I'm curious, like, what is Sigma 2? Is it something that's new with a ton of things ported into it? Or is it just Did it start out as Ninja Gaiden 2? Like, did they take 2 and just do a whole bunch of things to it? I'll be curious to know exactly what it actually is. Because, you know, you could remake the game, but then copy-paste a bunch of values from the original game, take all of the graphical assets and just modify some things here or there and make a few new models. Like, I'd be curious to know exactly how it started. Because I don't know if we really got a development log of, or like a little documentary of what Sigma 2 actually was, or how it started. Oh, just come on. Come on with that stupid going in the ground crap. You know what I want to have a go with, that I don't normally do it very much? Falcon's Talons. Don't forget, if you want to say something specifically to me, just so that I can see it a bit easier, especially with my tired eyes today, put at Dan Gavster Games, and then I'll see it, because it'll highlight it in orange. Whee! Love how high the Falcon's Talons swoop them up in the air. Good thing they got high ceilings in here. Excuse me! That actually reminds me, that is what I want to do right now. I'm pretty sure it's this. Excuse me, let's try. Can we try that again, please? Hang on. You need some of this. So do you. Where's the other one? There he is. There you go. Yeah. He did improve the tracking on that, but I wish it was the same. I did that a couple days ago in OG2, and he literally just locks onto them and kicks them up into the air, and it's kind of amazing. I guess I'm just wondering, like, how much of the OG2 is actually underneath the hood of Sigma 2? And could we just literally replace assets and values to make it exactly the same? Because I'm wondering, like, if you were able to get every single D-limb, every single damage, etc., all those values, every single one, even the ones that Fiend Busa might have missed or, you know, logically overlooked because it's not that important. Would it still feel the same, or would it still feel off? Like, something's missing. What do we want to use here? I'm gonna try doing this. Play. I'm just doing this. Gaming Nights, Neomasaki says, are you using the weapon tracking fix? Yes, I am. I think he actually built it into the his new mod, like, so I don't think you have to download the separate tracking fix, because I noticed that the new mod, Sigma NG2B white mod, has the extra folders in it that was also in that tracking fix mod, so I think he's built that into this, and I don't know why you wouldn't, so, you know, I assume he has. Actually, you know what? Let's use some staff. Okay. Do the spin. Thank you. It's good against everything, that move. Look at this. No, he didn't even do what I asked. It's still not perfect. Like, I still get these weird whiffed inputs when I try to do a 360Y. Like he was supposed to do it then, and instead the game assumed I pressed forward Y. And that happens quite frequently, and it's annoying. It's gotten me killed a few times. Will you stop? Thank you. Every time I dodged towards him to do it, he would jump backwards. Consistently. Nine says, yeah, it's built into the white mod. Hoping he fixes the forward Y with the Blade of the Archfiend. Not launching normal enemies soon. Hope normal enemies soon. Hope it works. It works great overall. Yeah, let me try that. Although these stupid fiend things are not the best to try it on because they're just annoying compared to ninjas. But why don't you come get some? We'll take down a few of you with one of these because these big boys get in the way. There we go. Now let's see. Oh my gosh! What? Doesn't do it. You're absolutely right. 1000%. That needs immediate fix. That's so weird. Is it just them, or is it for everything? Like the ninjas too. Gosh, I wish there were more ninjas in these freaking chapters. Oh, that move makes me mad. It's funny because that works fine. And yeah, if you do this, yeah, look at that. That is so bizarre. I don't notice that much because I always do this. It's so weird. Because the other version of it works fine. I suppose if you really wanted to be lazy, you could replace the animation for this with the animation value of the other one. You know, the one that comes after the X input. Let me see if they're the same. Let me see if it's the same. Is it? It's the same. It's basically the same animation. You might be able to get away with that. Like, look at this, right? He does like a spin first. He has this, he like does a little spin and then goes up. And if we go like this, it's almost the same. And in fact, I think it is exactly the same. So that could be a lazy fix. Just take just take that animation string there for the combo and put it for that move instead. I don't know what other problems that might cause, though. Do you know what? Some of this. Oh, man. I'll never get tired of doing that. It's so good. When we do that again, come over here, fellas. Hey, you need some treatment. There you go. Can I interest you in a full send-off here? Whee! Oh, come on! Don't interrupt me! Oh my goodness. These guys love to crowd him. Look at him there. They keep coming too. Oh. There's something pretty satisfying about that. Nice face, buddy. 10 out of 10. I don't think I went over here last time. I was so fixated on trying to get them to counter me. Or get him to counter them, rather, and he just wouldn't do it. Just in case. Well, it's warrior mode, so we might not get fish. Yeah, no fish. Death, the kid says, so what do you say that he found the wind shuriken and stuff in the game files? When I found out, I was in shock. Yeah, it's I knew about the windmill shuriken because it's the same thing with Sigma 2 and the Master Collection. I remember back in the day, people had some modded save files for the PS3 to re-enable the windmill shuriken. And it's the same thing in the Master Collection, and that's why in his Sigma 2 Black mod, we have the windmill shuriken back. And in his early version of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black White mod that I'm running on here, he had the windmill shuriken and the Gatling spear cannon or spear gun or whatever. And the windmill shuriken was bugged out, and so when he had it on his arm, it was massive. And when he would charge it up, it would appear under his feet. So it was kind of broken, so I guess he removed it from the update. But yeah, I never understood why they never added it back. Like, it's in the other it's in the original game. So why not have it here? Well, I do understand. That's wrong to say I don't understand. I get it. It's because it's less egregious in 2 because there's so many enemies. Whereas in Sigma 2, the windmill shuriken will make a lot of fights trivial because there's not that many enemies. And the windmill shuriken, when fully charged up, is incredibly powerful. And so I assume in vanilla Sigma 2, the windmill shuriken is just so OP that they removed it. What weapon do I have on right now? Is it the flail? Yeah, it is. Yeah, flail. They'd just be chopping off heads like all day long. All day long. His head is on the floor. It's just on the floor. It's already there. Excuse me. You can join your friends. Look, you too, sir. Yeah, see? Absolutely on the floor. The flail are nuts. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with the lighting on the Aqua Capital chapter. Making everything look sort of muddy and beige. Like, everything just looks washed out. And one of my favorite things about that chapter in the OG and even Sigma 2 was how colorful everything was. That lovely blue water. Actually, you know what? I'll be right back. All right. I remember when I was talking to Fiend Busa about the Sigma 2 Black mod. I was complaining of how weak Enma's Fang felt for how slow it was. And so for a while, he was experimenting with D-limbs and stuff. And I'm not sure, because he might have done this anyway, but I think that was one of the reasons why in the config INI, there's like a whole section about modifying D-limb stuff. Because he first... Just stop spamming the grab! Do anything else! In one of the first versions where he started putting those numbers in the config file, it was after I was talking about the scythe and the Enma's Fang, and, you know, then in the next update for Sigma 2 Black mod, there was the thing to adjust the delim rates. Now there's like a whole list of delim rate things that you can adjust yourself, which is really cool. It's nice to be able to talk to the guy that makes things, you know, and like give him, just bounce ideas off him. Because like the whole reason that this move is in this mod, where you can do the wall kick flying swallow off of an enemy, is because I said to him, dude, that would be amazing, let's make it happen. And when he put it in there, it actually works even better than I'd hoped it would. Like, I use it all the time now. I find myself wishing I could put it in the OG Ninja Gaiden 2 when I'm playing it on the emulator. Because it's like I just use it all the time. To the point where when I go into Razor's Edge just to have a look at it, to like remind myself of some of the things it did right, I'll try to do it, and then I'll realize, oh, you don't have to do that, you just do the regular flying swallow, and he does it back at them, except it's not as good as the wall kick flying swallow, and so what started out as trying to get a Razor's Edge kind of thing back into this is now better. It seriously cannot be understated, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again. It cannot be understated. The sheer magnitude of effort and change that the Sigma 2 Black mod did to Sigma 2. It saved that game for me. I couldn't stand Sigma 2 after a while, but with his mod, it makes it amazing. And plus all the other mods that I've got going on it, I always wanted to just play that instead of Vanilla 2, because it had all these extra things. It was, it was a double click away without the sort of issues or bugs that come with emulation. And I could run it on my handheld, again, because the emulator is more power hungry than just running the game. Like, if I don't use reshade, I can run it on like 8 watts and it doesn't drop frames. It just sucks that I can't run this on my Win 4. Like, it just runs out of memory. It won't even get into a chapter anymore. And I tried several times to the point where it just takes the whole system with it, and I have to force shut it down. It runs out of memory so hard, I can't even get it back. It's ridiculous. Come get it, Wolf. Let's just do the easy thing. He didn't do the input I wanted. There we go. All right, we're on warrior mode. Hopefully, sometimes I forget what I'm doing. I was like, why isn't that doing as much damage? No, I wish we could fix the sights. It just doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It freaking decapitates them so well. And at the same time, you can't just make it so that it insta-decaps when you throw it, because then it doesn't feel right either. It has to have a certain randomness to it. And yet, whatever they dialed into the original Ninja Gaiden 2 feels just right. No, just let me get one off, please. No, don't run at me. Come on, let's get a double charge. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was gonna hit him or not. Come get it. They know, though. They kind of like disperse, and they give him a wide berth so that it doesn't hit as many. Although they did just watch him kill their leader, so it's understandable. They wouldn't all get so close. Wouldn't it be amazing, though, if you could see Ryu do the UT with the Kusarigama in this arena, and the whole arena is just full of guys. Like, the whole thing, this entire place, is just chock-a-block, and he hits like 100 of them in one UT. I'm curious about something. Let me look at these guys in the stands to see how detailed they are. Oh, dear. Somebody outright shaved that one. Look at these guys. No wonder they're so mad. They look like frickin' chihuahuas or something. You know, the weird ones, the ones that look like rats. They look like weird, they look like something out of Skyrim or Fallout. Those things have been, like, irradiated. That's so goofy. I wonder if that looks different when you have the game on the highest settings or not. It's so funny because you see they've got the fur on them like that. You know, the ones in the stands are shaved. Come on, fellas, come get some. Can I interest you in some of this? Come here, buddy. How about you, sir? It's over. Alright. And just so that things don't get repetitive, I'll do it on Acolyte another time. Let's do something else. And I did that one yesterday. Don't much feel like doing it again yet. Fine, we'll do this one on Mentor. I'd like to know, like, you know, I want an honest number in terms of if somebody went to the people at Team Ninja, or hey, maybe not Team Ninja, maybe, you know, like M2, do a bunch of ports of old games, you know, usually not for, I don't know if they do 3D stuff, I can't remember, but, you know, My Life in Gaming did a documentary on them, M2, doing a bunch of ports, and they tried to make them faithful to the originals, and they even try to add some cool stuff sometimes. And so it doesn't even have to be Team Ninja that, like, decompile Ninja Gaiden 2 and bring it to PC native port. Someone else could do it, someone who cares. And I'm just curious, what's the number? How much would it actually cost? And is it actually worth it? The sad thing is, I don't know. I don't know if a ton of people would come out of the woodwork if a true OG Ninja Gaiden 2 PC port came available. Because I look at the Steam numbers for who's playing this, it's not that much. People look at games like Avowed and they're like, oh, 20,000 or 19,000, this game's a flop. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look very good. 20,000 compared to some of the other things that it's competing with is pretty low. But then I'm thinking, yeah, so that's a flop. And then I look at Ninja Gaiden 2 and I'm like, or this game, 2 Black, and it's like 2,000. And I'm like, is it already dead? Nobody cares. I'm even seeing random videos on YouTube of people playing this game, and they've got tens of thousands of views. Like normies and randos playing Ninja Gaiden. And I'm like, oh, I guess it's coming back. And then I see the numbers, and I'm like, is nobody playing this game? It looks like people still don't care about Ninja Gaiden. And so it makes me think, would a PC port of Ninja Gaiden 2 even make its money back? I don't know. I don't know if people care enough anymore. It makes me sad. I don't think we're ever gonna have it. Not unless somebody makes a tool or someone figures out, you know, how to make AI just do it for us. Because who knows if that could happen in the future. Super advanced models that can be trained on game code and console architecture, maybe even trained on an emulator, so that it can literally just turn the emulator, like translation, but like actually cook it into some new files so that it runs natively instead of translating in real time the game. Because I'm kind of worried that the best we're ever going to get is Xbox 360 emulation. And who knows, maybe we'll get a really good one, like a tailored build for Ninja Gaiden, that will make the game look its best, run its best,
No graphical bugs or glitches, no crashes, no freezes. Because I'm still annoyed with the texture bug, where when you go into the pause menu, everything is the same icon. And I followed Guilty's video, his new one that he did, and had a look, and changed the one setting for the, oh, I can't remember, but you change a couple of values to 1 and 2, the defaults are a lot higher, and he said it was supposed to fix that, and when I did it, nothing changed. It still had the same problem. I don't know how you won't aim at the rocket, guys. Like, just aim at the rockets. Although the other thing I have to say is, again, based on what I was saying earlier, how I don't know how much Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 is 2, like how much of it is base 2 running under the hood and how much of it is like new code. Because part of me thinks we don't actually have to get the OG Ninja Gaiden 2 ported. If Sigma 2 is close enough, then it should be a matter of changing the values. Going in and changing all the values for D-limbs, damage, HP, and spawns to where the game should play the same. I just think, you know, sometimes it's... I wonder if they were to do that, right? They get everything perfect, and like I said earlier, would it still feel wrong? Maybe it just will never feel like 2 because it's Sigma 2. And so I'm wondering if the only way to get that authentic Ninja Gaiden 2 experience is to port that game. I am curious how difficult it would actually be if you gave it to a team of professionals and said, decompile this game, we don't have the source code anymore. I'd like to know how long it would actually take and if it's viable. There's a lot of these things here. Literally can't see through all the rockets. Why don't we do one of these? If I can see where I'm aiming. There we go. Why don't you just take a nap, fellas? Oh my gosh, did I get them all? I got them all. Oh no, here come more of them. Would you like some of this, gentlemen? Okay, we only got one that time. Oh, just can't see through all these dumb explosions. I need to go get those guys and take them down, because they're making this really hard. Finally, those stupid rocket guys are gone. We got one more of these. We're gonna throw it at you fellas. There you go. I don't even know how that hit me then. What the heck? Don't die now. I wonder if the staff would be... That's not bad. It's got some nice reach on it. Because these things delimb differently with Fiend Boost's mod than they do. In the OG2, I would never fight them like this. I would always just do a single charge UT with the Tonfa. But these things delimb, their arms come off a little differently, so I can actually go in there and hit him with a regular kind of delimb combo that you do to like a ninja, as you can see. I see what a PC port of the OG Ninja Gaiden 2 would really open some doors, especially if it was like decompiled, so that the files weren't like packaged in a way that's difficult to mod. If it was fully decompiled, oh my gosh, can you imagine the mods? I'd love to see a what if Ninja Gaiden 3 scenario where it's based on the original Ninja Gaiden 2 code. You take all the things that they changed for Razor's Edge that were good, you know, combos, the streamlining on landing combos and stuff, and the rotating shuriken throw, the steel on bone for like boss parts and stuff. I think that it would be awesome to see an alternative sequel, like what the sequel of the OG Ninja Gaiden 2 would have been, with a completely different story. Because I will admit, having a PC version of Ninja Gaiden 2, while I still would play it... Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. Screw this dumb chapter. This is why I never play it. I don't like how it looks. It's all dark and dull. And then that happens. But yeah, my point was going to be, I've played Ninja Gaiden 2 so much. I know all the levels. I can literally run through the levels in my head, and it's like, I would like something new with that gameplay. I want new areas and new fights. And some new stuff. But then again, I would still love to see what Ninja Gaiden 3 could have been if the Sigma games never existed. I don't mind fighting these guys again. It's that stupid fight with all those big frickin' mech alien things. They were frickin' annoying. Can't believe I wasn't paying attention when I opened that chest and I got killed by those fish. Oh, get out of my way, please. Get out of the way. I'm still grateful, though, that all these games exist. I'm grateful the Master Collection exists. I'm grateful that they shadow drop this and we have it. Because even if it's not exactly what we wanted, and while we can be mad at them all we want for lying to us about what it is, and it's as simple as just not calling this Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. If they had called it Sigma 2 Black right out of the gate, I wouldn't have been as bothered, because at least they would have called it what it was. But I'm still glad that these exist. Because, you know, it's neat. It's nice that we can bring Ninja Gaiden back, and they've made some tweaks to it that makes it better than Sigma 2. You know, not completely, but definitely just in a few places. And a little bit better is, you know, better than nothing. And then mods can come in and make it the rest of the way. So, regardless, we're gonna get something out of all this. Even if, unfortunately, people on console will never understand the true experience because they'll just play the vanilla experiences that they're given. They don't know any better. Like, they don't know that there's a bunch of mods out there that's gonna fix the game. There we go. Nice face, buddy. Come here. These rockets are really bothering me. I just can't see through all the explosion, smoke. This is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous. I can't see what's going on. And that move just hit me, even though I attacked him after he landed. Can we just do this again? Like, seriously, no matter how many of these things I kill, there's always more. Come here. You're dead already. I hate how it misses. I don't want it to miss. Just, like, come get it. Gosh, I never understood this. This is one of the reasons I hate this chapter. Like, even on Mentor here. In the original, too. Like, why the need for so many of these things? At least space them out a little bit. Like, I don't fight... How many have I fought now? Like 20 of them? Like, some of these fights feel kind of boring, you know? This is why I'd love the randomizer. Would love a randomizer. I hope that Fiend Boots is able to sort that out, because he told me that he was, he had something for the randomizer that was going to be really cool. And it would be nice that, like, some of these fights get kind of boring when it's just like, oh, look, it's this thing 20 times. Like, I'd like to just have a bunch of random enemies. I want more ninjas. And I'd like some of the different ninjas. I understand why in higher difficulties you get different ninjas. You get the gray ones instead of the green ones. But I'd love to fight a group of guys where all the different ninjas are there. The regular claw ninjas, the red ones, the green ninjas, the purple mages, the green mages. All of them together. Just for a bit of variety. Because that would be fun anyway. Instead of being surrounded by nothing but claw ninjas that just throw explosive shurikens at you and fill the screen with explosions, you just get a couple of them, and then all the others are regular claw ninjas. So they still fight like those, but they just don't constantly explode everything. I gotta have something to drink. Ah, that's better. Finally, we're at the first save point. And it's all because I opened the frickin' chest with the fish. If I hadn't have, if I'd just been paying attention when I did that, would have been fine. Hey, gentlemen. What you doing? Where are the dogs? Where are the wolves? I like this. At least we got some ninjas. I'll take it. They're not the... Well, they're technically mages, but they're mage ninjas. Yeah, I'll take it. That's much better than fighting the wolves. They were annoying. I don't mind a couple here or there, but when there's too many of them, they get irritating. Saint says, I actually tried Sigma 2. Oh my gosh, the claw ninjas just won't delimb. Yeah, it's just frustrating. Hey, what's up, Dio? Good morning. Hope you had a good night. Hope your morning is good. If Not So Safe for Work says, if a fan were to offer to make fan art for you for anything for free, what would you ask for, and how would they show it to you when it's finished? I have no idea. I have no idea what I would want. It's actually a really difficult question. Because it depends what it is, what the style is, what's involved. Is it like a, you know, we're talking characters, landscapes, you know, like there's so many different variables in there. And then I'd be thinking, oh, what character or characters, and I don't know. The honest answer is I don't know. I'm far too indecisive to give an answer. Because no matter what I ask for, I'd probably be like, oh man, I should have asked for this, you know. Oh, come on, shoot the guys up there. Do you know what? For that, you get the full frickin' treatment. And it took us up onto the balcony. How serendipitous, gentlemen. Now we can give you some of this. Oh. You're getting one too. All right, maybe not. All right, but you'll get half the combo. The truth is, I just want to see what these characters would look like if they were real. That's what I was trying to do with the AI stuff, with trying to see what Rachel would look like when if she was real. You know, like the perfect cosplay, but better than that. Like if they were doing a movie and they actually had a good budget for the costumes. I did the same thing with my thumbnails for the Sigma 2 Black Mod streams for Ryu. I thought that picture turned out awesome. So, like, really, what I'd like to do is get some people who are really, like, I know you're talking about fan art, but I'd love to get some people that know how to make costumes and have them put together the perfect real-life version of the costumes for, like, Ryu, Rachel, Sonya, like, all of them. And then get some models that look just like the characters might look in real life and get, like, a freaking photo shoot of them all. That would be really cool. But of course, you know, you could probably just do that with AI now. If you train... I have been tempted to get some screenshots of this model, now that it's done, in this game, and then train an AI model on it to see if I can generate some really good pictures of Ryu. It's just that sometimes building a data set it takes so long, and then you have to caption them all if you want it to actually produce good results. And then I just think, oh, I can't be bothered. I just want to generate something now. So I resort to something like IP adapter, where you use a reference image instead, and it's never as good. There's always some issue. Come here! No! At least the Rise to Heaven makes quick work of them. The truth is, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. I don't need it. And if I did ask for anything, I'd only regret it later and then think, oh, I should have asked for this, or I wanted this, or, you know. I'll never be satisfied, so. I appreciate the offer anyway. What we haven't done in a while, at least since the staircase in yesterday's stream, the wind blades. I really need to do some more music mods again. I want to put that Ninja Gaiden 3 fight theme in here. The one with the rock music that I put in there in the Master Collection that replaces this theme. Yeah, that's right, take it! Oh, you did not just interrupt the underworld drop. You're still getting one. One of you is, that's for sure. It's gonna be this last guy. We're gonna do that to that guy first, then we're gonna go. Ah, fine. You want the wind blades? You get those instead! I love how he gets stuck on the corner of that wall there. Is this guy not dead yet? Just kill the guy! I hate how they just do a couple of little shots and it completely stops Ryu in his tracks. I get that they're bullets and that they would do that, but at the same time, from a gameplay perspective, in a game that's all about tempo and flow and speed, it just completely stops everything. This section here, even with this little door, is totally inspired by that cathedral in Ninja Gaiden 1. I think maybe it was a monastery? Whatever it was. Fine, I guess none of you were getting the underworld drop, but at least we got one of them. Yeah, that's right. 9 says, was it hard doing the voice edit mod? Someone posted an MC mod that restores some cut sound effects, and I was interested in porting it to 2B. No, it's not that hard at all. You can literally just... because Unreal replaces all the sounds anyway. And so you can just extract the sounds, re-import them with the correct folder structure as WAV files, and then repackage them and it replaces them. Because, like, for instance, I did it with Ryu's jumping sounds. This is the jump noise from Ninja Gaiden 3. And I did it with this sound as well. Not that you can really hear it. Of course, this weapon is noisy. So when he kicks off a wall sideways like that, that is the Ninja Gaiden 3 sound effect. And then this, that's the Ninja Gaiden 3 one. And the only thing I had trouble with was the jump sound effect. Oh, and this sound as well. Because the jump sound effect here is actually two different sounds. And when I tried to take the two different sounds from Ninja Gaiden 3 and put them in there, they were staggered way too much and it sounded completely wrong. So I ended up muting the second sound and replacing it with an empty WAV file and just having the combined sound effect for the first jump sound. And that's for the jump. It's called jump roll. And that's the jump forward sound effect. I thought about releasing the jump sound effects mod with the 3 outfit, but I wasn't sure if anybody even cared about it, so I just never bothered doing anything with the mod. I just made it and use it. Same thing for my Ryu voice mod. I don't know if I'll get to the point where I can reassign the grunts so that I can actually use all of his Ninja Gaiden 1 grunts and put them in the correct places. Because I can't just swap them. They're assigned to different animations in Ninja Gaiden 2 compared to Ninja Gaiden 1. So they can't just be swapped. And so that's why I've done a rudimentary swap of some of them, and then others are just muted. And so Ryu's like quiet half the time, and then he recycles some of the grunts a little bit too often for the rest of the time. But it's just about good enough for me to enjoy it. But yeah, that's a long-winded way of saying replacing sounds is relatively easy. I tried to look for the D-limb sound, that really loud slash. Yeah, that noise every time when their head comes off. Like let me see. That noise there. And again, and again. It fluctuates in pitch, but it's the same sound. I think that sound is way too over the top and like noticeable, so I ripped out the cut sound from the original 2, which is like a much less obvious version of that sound, and I wanted to put it in. I went through all the cut sound. I went through all of them once in the file. I couldn't find it. So I ended up just doing, in the same mod where I replaced his jump sounds, I replaced some of the Azuna drop splat noises, like the crunch of when they hit the floor, with the ones from Ninja Gaiden 3, since they've got a slightly crunchier sound, which was pretty cool. Although one thing to note, when you replace sound effects, the first time they trigger in the game, they're delayed. And then after they've triggered once, they queue on time. It's really weird. But I was tempted to try and change the cut sounds myself, actually. Like, because I know that mod you're talking about for the Master Collection. I have it on mine. And then I was thinking, I wonder if I could take all the slash and cut sounds from Vindictus. Because I extracted all the sound effects from that game years ago. And they're pretty amazing. Like, some of the sounds in that game are outstanding. And I thought, I wondered how it would freshen up Ninja Gaiden if I changed the very, what's the word? Ninja Gaiden has very recognizable slash noises, and I was always curious how much would it change the feel of the game to replace them with the sounds from Vindictus, because it's got quite different sword slash noises. I think it's fish, right? Yeah. Gosh, I'm trying to read some of the chat, but it's like, oh, you don't realize, like, I can sort of sit here and play the game and not focus too hard on it, because I've played all this so much over the years. But then when I try and read the chat, my tired eyes just can't focus on it properly. Especially with how small it is. I need to put like another screen on there or something, and put the chat on there and make it big text so that I can read it. But it looks like it's just people chatting amongst themselves. Although it does make it easier, again, when people put Dan Gabster Games at the beginning so that it comes up in orange. It's a lot easier to see. It really stands out. See what I mean? How like, it just interrupts it completely. One thing I will say, though, because I've noticed over the years a lot of people say, oh, you know, I never really got into Ninja Gaiden because it's really hard. You know, people say it's hard. And then I think, yeah, but so many people got into the Souls games, and those games are known for being difficult in their own way. And I thought, even if that's true with the Ninja Gaiden thing, with it being difficult, just play Acolyte. You want to get into Ninja Gaiden 2 OG, just play Acolyte mode. You'll have a great time with it. Even if you're not a Master Ninja, you know, when you go back to Acolyte mode after playing Master Ninja, it's easy. It's easy mode. But if you're new to Ninja Gaiden and you're getting you're just getting beat down by the game, Acolyte mode is a really good way to just enjoy the game. You'll have a blast with it. You really just tear through stuff in Acolyte mode. Gaming Nights, Neo Misaki says, if they made a Ninja Gaiden 3 black, what would you want them to change or add? Apart from making doing the nice graphical treatment like with this one, I would just like to see the Steel on Bone adapted a little differently and not have the enemies focus going for it all the time. Because I found the Steel on Bone and them constantly trying to do the grab that initiates it made me not want to do counterattacks much at all. It kept me purely on the offensive all the time. And it fundamentally changed how I played the game. And then on top of that, the spongy enemies. If they could just make the delim and damage system a bit more like how we've got it with these mods for Sigma 2 Black, you know, the Ninja Gaiden 2B white mod and OG2, how those feel. With more enemies that don't just sit there and not die. It's one thing to want an enemy that tanks a bit more damage, but it's another thing to frickin' unload a barrage of attacks on them and to just watch them block all of it. Or you drop them on their head and they get up twice. It's ridiculous. I just think a streamlining of the delim damage, tweak the damage numbers and the health numbers, rework the steel on bone a little bit so that it's not super overemphasized and it's more of a supplement to an obliteration technique and less of something that steals the focus. And I think you'd have a pretty darn good game. Especially if you just play on Chapter Challenge and you ignore the absolutely terrible story. The story in Ninja Gaiden 3 is so bad. And Ninja Gaiden's never had a very particularly great story. It's always been really basic. But Ninja Gaiden 3 tried to take itself seriously, tried to make Ryu like this surrogate uncle-dad thing. The weird science mutants that you fight. They tried. I'll give them their due. They tried. But, you know, I think it fell on its face. I always thought that Ninja Gaiden 3 should have just been Ryu facing off against another clan that merged with the remnants of the Spider Clan, picking up the pieces, and they still want world dominance, and you have a whole bunch new bosses. I would have also liked a bunch more bosses that are humanoid. Can we have a bunch more boss fights with Genshin types, please? It would have been really cool if the new clan that fights Ryu has a bunch of lieutenants, and they're all like Genshin, and you fight a bunch of them, and then in some fights, you fight 2 of them, and then you could fight another guy who's like Ryu, and it's like the doppelganger fight, and in like a bunch of cutscenes throughout the game, you see him watching Ryu, and then later in the game when you finally see him again after you think you fought the final boss, and the guy jumps down and says, "I've been watching you," now you're gonna fight somebody who knows what he's doing. You basically fight a proper doppelganger kind of thing. It'd be awesome. They didn't do any of those things. They made you fight against machines and weird mutants. And dinosaurs. I mean, I get it. In Ninja Gaiden 1, they had the dinosaur enemies, but at the same time, they were fiends, technically. But the frickin' dinosaur, the T-Rex was so goofy. It was so goofy. Yeah, got him. Whoa. Always nice to get him taken down before those big dudes interfere. Because now we can get rid of the rocket guys over here. Nine says, I get you. It's nice hearing that it's not too complicated. Did you say you're also interested in restoring the OG cut sound effects? No, I said that I installed that mod on the Master Collection, but I was fascinated with replacing the cut sound effects with the ones from Vindictus. But I'd be all for the cut sounds from Ninja Gaiden 2 as well. I must admit, going back to the OG 2 now and hearing the more understated cut noises, like, it's an adjustment. I'm so used to the more pronounced ones of Sigma 2 now that I actually forgot about those. And then when I went back, I was like, oh yeah, look, they're much more understated. And I personally would like to hear some Vindictus-style cut sounds in the game to see how they might change things. Because I was thinking about doing sound effects mods in Ninja Gaiden for a long time. You know, and I just gave up on it because in the Master Collection, doing sound mods was always so difficult. Yeah, sure, you could rip sounds out, but packing them back in so the game would read them was next to impossible. As far as I was concerned, like, I don't know how that other one was done. There's always one more. Where is he? Here he is. Blending in over here. Because he's covered in snow. Ben Smith says, hey Dan, great to catch one of these at Social Hour in Japan. Social Hour? What's that? What's that? Oh yeah. Dio says, yeah, the spongy, dodgy enemies are the main issue, with 3 alchemists being one of the worst offenders. The dodging, the auto-dodging, they do dodge a little bit in OG Ninja Gaiden 2, like the Spider Ninja. They'll dodge your counterattacks sometimes, right? But I didn't notice it too much. Whereas in Sigma 2, and they do it in this too, they roll out of the way an obnoxious amount. And then in Razor's Edge and 3, the dodging they do outright infuriated me. And the alchemists were the worst ever. They were designed to avoid everything the game has taught you to do. Want to sweep them up for an Azuna? Auto dodge. Want to do a flying swallow? Auto dodge. It's oh man. Even when you're in the middle of a combo, you suddenly go to sweep them up and they're like, oh, look at that, it's time to dodge. Even though you're stunning me and wailing on me, gotta dodge that sweep up. Wouldn't want to get dropped. Wouldn't want you to do your signature move that you've been doing for like the past multiple iterations of the last 2 games. And then they dodge it, and then they'll grab you and put you on the floor and try and suck the energy out of your face. Makes you mad. Although it was satisfying to, break the alchemists, whether it was with the graveyard spin or in Vanilla 3, doing a specific combo, they wouldn't get out of the way of it. It was the one where you'd go, no, I gotta get the dragon sword out. You'd go like this, and then he would do an upsweep, and then the Azuna drop would be replaced with him stabbing them into the ground. And you could always do that on them, and that was always, I enjoyed doing that. Or at least I enjoyed getting the better of them when they were clearly designed to get the better of me. And so it was like, oh, you think you're gonna stifle my efforts? No way, I'm gonna figure out what works and I'm gonna do that instead. Candy is here, says, yo, is this modded? Yes, it is, yeah. Ben Smith says, sorry, I meant a sociable hour. It's 8 p.m. over here. Oh, I see. He says, perfect viewing time. Ben Smith also says, kills me that I'm stuck with the PS5 version of this game. I would kill to mod it. Yeah, it's definitely worth PC when you can mod stuff. Like, I'm still stoked about this. Like, look at this. And this is not like the one I had in the Master Collection that I did the textures for, right? I had Heisei port the actual Ninja Gaiden 3 model, not the DOA 5 version, the Ninja Gaiden 3 version. This is the actual 3 model with brand new textures that I AI upscaled and then regenerated and then did tons of touch-ups to make them look really good. And while the virtual textures in this game make it look kind of bad, if I use this camera thing here and I zoom in on him and then I zoom out, the detail persists if... wait a minute, we go like this. Because I play this on 70% resolution so that it doesn't dip below 60 as much. And I have it on... I don't have this... I'm only on a 1080 Ti, and it's, it struggles with these new games. But like what I would do to get the screenshots on the Nexus Mods page that look super crisp, I'd put the game in 4K, put the camera like right up against him so that the textures load in properly, and then I would zoom out so that you see all the details still where it looks like really sharp. Like if you look at that, like I redid these textures to try and get as much detail out of them as possible. These virtual textures really don't do it justice either. Like they really steal all the detail away from it. It sucks. Because they're pretty high res. Did I disable the HUD? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I installed your NG3 outfit on Sigma 2 for my Steam Deck, and it's great in that. Yeah, it is. I had a lot. I was so glad I got that. It made me happy for so long. Damon Zell says, I don't know if someone has asked, but will you be playing Sigma 1 with Black Mod someday? That's the one that, like, changes the HUD elements, right? And some of the graphics, removes the bloom and stuff? Because I have that. I think I did a few streams last year at some point where I think I played some Rachel stuff. I don't plan on doing a full playthrough, at least not unless I feel nostalgic for it at some point and decide I want to do that, but I think I did do a few streams on it, so if you're itching for content of Ninja Gaiden Sigma, and I think it's with the Sigma Black mod, I think I installed it and talked about it briefly, then I do have some streams, I think, but I'm not 100% certain. I tend to stream these things, leave them up there, and then forget about them. Oh my goodness. Yeah, look at it, the frame rate, I need to put it back down. Can't believe I can't even just play the game in 1080p. 1080p! On what is a mix of standard and high settings on a couple of things. I really need to get a new computer. Although this computer's been doing me proud for like 7 years now. I built this thing in 2018. 8700K, 32 gigs of RAM, 1080 Ti. It was going to be a 2070, but that thing failed on me. Then they replaced it with a 2080 Ti, which failed on me 3 more times. I was so soured on the 20 series after that, I was like, you know what, fine. I'll get a used 1080 Ti for 400 pounds sterling. And I spent an extra like 30 on getting another cooler because I spray painted it white and I wanted a spare. And it looks nice because it was the black card, so it had black fans and stuff. I spray painted just the plastic shroud white, so it's black and white. Fits with the black and white theme of my build, and it looked great. Couldn't have been happier with how it turned out. What are your graphics settings right now? I know someone made an optimization guide for it. Just so you know, though, I can't remember if I have one of the optimization tweak things from Nexus Mods installed or not. I might, but I might have turned it off. I can't remember, but we'll look at my settings. So I'm running it in borderless right now, but at one point I was running it in full screen, but, you know, since sometimes you need to tab out, I just decided to switch to borderless. I locked it at 60 because if it goes higher than 60, it messes with the buffering of combos. And then I've got it on TSR 70%. I don't have the reflex thing turned on. Anisotropic filtering 16. Shadow quality standard. Effects quality standard. Global illumination is high because I like the lumen lighting. Reflections is standard. Foliage is high quality because I've noticed that if you have it on lower quality, a bunch of foliage geometry just disappears and it looks ridiculous. Then I got motion blur, best quality, and I have all of these things down here turned on except the monochrome filter. You can really see the difference with the lighting, though, right? If I bring up this mod, this Universal Unreal Engine Unlocker thing, and I go into MISIC adjustments, I'm going to drag it onto my other screen here so that it's not in the way. It has a whole bunch of things here. You can, it has a bunch of features that you can see. Like, in-game console, the camera, you toggle the HUD, object dump, you can pause the actual world itself. The game will keep running in the background, but it will freeze what's on the screen, even if you cannot physically pause the game. You can do custom lights, visualizers, post-processing. So you can change a bunch of stuff in here. And what's neat is that you can actually add lights to the game. Like if you pause the game, you can add a spotlight and put it on Ryu. But I won't mess with that now. If we go into the lumen settings here, we can actually change what some of these look like. So I'll move it out of the way. And what I'll do is, there's a few presets here, like toggle old school ambient occlusion. Watch what happens when I toggle this. Look at the difference. There's with lumen, without lumen. I actually think this looks really cool. But isn't that crazy? Look at the difference. Less pronounced old school ambient occlusion. Pretty much the same, but it's not as pronounced as the other one. You can set lumen to max quality. You see the difference. Look, specifically, I'll just walk over to it. See this thing here, this piece of wall right here, okay? If I stand over here, watch what happens to it when I toggle that lumen at max quality. See how they brighten up? The lights, they act a little different. And you can change to old school screen space reflections instead of I think the lumen ones. Like, you can see the difference. Again, in that same spot that I pointed out just before. Makes stuff look a lot shinier. I'm sure that some of these settings would actually make the game perform a little better. There's something called Essentials. What does that do? Bloom, dirt, intensity masks. Oh, yeah, so that just basically gets rid of things like vignetting. Bloom max quality. Yeah, that makes the game slightly darker, so I guess that just improves the... It's probably doing more than just... It's not like just darkening it, but it's right changing the quality of the bloom that's resulting in a slightly darker image. There's a setting here called Ray Traced Everything, but when I enable it, nothing happens. It does say that it's deprecated or depreciated or whatever, so I don't know. I just haven't bothered messing with it. But yeah, the old school ambient occlusion. Like, look at that. It looks pretty neat. But if you enable it on, like, Chapter 2, for instance, with the daytime, everything looks blue and really crappy. It just looks wrong. Like, it was designed for the lumen lighting, and when you disable it, it looks broken and fake. So you can't just turn it on and have it there. But we can have this on for a little bit. Just play the game like this. It looks really neat, like this dark kind of indoor setting. Ben Smith says, what's your opinion on the new 50 series GPU? I know you want to get a 5090, but the pricing and the issues, are you still keen? No, I'm not. And it really makes me disappointed. Finally, I decide I want to build a new PC this year, and then they decide to crap the bed, for lack of a better term, on the whole frickin' series. The price is ridiculous. They decide they want to shove the cards out early so that they can have their fake MSRP, so that they can claim the MSRP is lower than wherever they're selling everywhere. Low supply, cables melting themselves. I'm absolutely sick of this thing NVIDIA's doing where every new generation is like 200 watts more power hungry than the last. It's like, are you guys even optimizing anymore? Like, or do you just, like, why is it that the new silicone sucks so bad? The only way to get a 30% performance increase is to increase the power consumption by 100 watts. Where's the efficiency, man? My 1080 Ti pulls like 180 watts or something. And then I undervolted it, and it pulls a little less than that. What the heck? I'm gonna have to buy a power supply for my new computer that's like 1200 watts. Because the GPU alone is gonna pull like 500. That's almost triple what I'm doing now. That's insane. I wish NVIDIA would come out and just be like, yeah, so the new series, we don't have much of a performance increase, but the power consumption is half of what it used to be. We're back to 200 watts, but we have 5090 performance at 200 watts. That would be awesome. Oh, and yeah, the cards don't melt themselves. That would be great too. But yeah, I'm soured on it. I still want a 5090, but now I don't know what to do. Because I wanted to get a Founders Edition. You know, because I've never had a Founders Edition before. Now I just don't know. I don't know. Like, I figure I'm going to have to get a more expensive partner card that has like 3 8-pin connectors, or maybe 4. Maybe the power issues won't be a problem for me because I'm going to undervolt my card anyway. I love the efficiency factor, so I'm definitely undervolting. That's a it's a no-brainer for me. I would never not undervolt anymore now that I know the benefits of doing that. Significantly less power draw for what is a mild performance loss. As long as I get the version that has all of its ROPs, then the mild performance loss won't be noticeable. Candy is here says, my GPU is the 12th generation, and yet somehow I can run games like Black and Spider-Man Remastered with no lag, so I don't think I'm ever planning on getting a new PC anytime soon. Your GPU is on the 12th generation. What do you mean, 12th gen? Do you mean integrated graphics on a 12th gen CPU? Ben Smith says, haha, I'm in the same boat as you. I wasn't going to fork out for a 5090, but still, now I'm questioning if I really want to bother. Yeah, it's just... It's really disappointing, because I don't know what to do now. I never usually fork out for the high end, ever. I've always had the 60 series. Back in the day, I had a 7900 GTO, and then I got a GTS 250 to replace it when it died. Then I got a GTX 760, then a 1060, and then I got a used 1080 Ti. And I've been using that ever since. And, you know, like I said, I tried to get it. I didn't even go for the 2080 Ti. I went for the 2070. And that, you know, the whole memory issue there failed me. And then I thought, you know what, this time, because I'm actually, you know, a lot of people, it seems like a general term people say online, people hate AI stuff. Oh, AI sucks. I think the AI stuff is really cool. Like, the AI image generation, video generation, using ChatGPT for helping me figure out some, like, ChatGPT helped me figure out how to do some Blender stuff. Like, AI is useful as a tool. And so I want a system where I can do more AI stuff locally and not rely on frickin' services. I just want to do it on my own computer. And you know, when I saw that number that NVIDIA had, the almost 3 times the AI tops as the 4090, I thought the 4090 is probably like 10 times better at AI image generation than my 1080 Ti is. And this thing is 3 times as fast as that. I want it. I want that. And on top of it, with the gaming performance being able, it would just be nice to have the big bad card, the big high-end card that can run the games in 4K and give you the best-looking videos and frame rates. And for a short while, I kind of had that with the 1080 Ti. When the 1080 Ti was king, when the 2080 Ti was king, the 1080 Ti was right up there with it, saying, I could go toe-to-toe with you any day, bud. I might not be able to ray trace all that well, but I got that raster performance. Unfortunately, 7 years later, the 1080 Ti is gasping for breath, and it's like, please don't make me do anymore. Please don't turn that setting on. I can't do it. Please don't make me do it. It's okay, 1080 Ti. Let me just turn down that resolution for you. And then he's like, oh, that's better. Give me that sub 720p resolution and I'll do whatever you want. Just please, no more 1080p. I can't do it anymore. And I'll admit, like, I'm sour on the prices. Like, I don't want to spend $2,000 on a card. I don't want to do that. But it's like the performance and the, like, again, I just fell down for the, you know, the potential speed in AI generation for, because I generate AI images and I use the AI stuff. Like I said, I use the AI stuff for the texture updates on this model, and I would like to dabble in more stuff. I'm getting sick of not being able to do any flux. I'm still on SD 1.5. I can't do XL. I can't do SD3. I can't do Flux. I tried Flux. I tried a cut-down version of Flux. It took 5 minutes to generate a mediocre image compared to what I was doing on 1.5 with all the LoRa's I've got and stuff. To the point, and with LCM, which is low step count, which meant that I can generate an image in like 25 seconds with LCM on 1.5 that looks pretty darn good compared to cut-down Flux taking 5 minutes for crap. And I keep thinking, if I had a new card that was really good, I could actually load the high-end models that require 24 gigs of VRAM. So that 32 gigs of VRAM, those 3,000 plus AI tops, like, that's an incentive for me. And then on top of that, having that much memory for games, you know, a little bit of future-proofing there, being able to do stuff in 4K. It would just be nice to max out stuff for a change and actually get above 100 FPS at 4K. Would certainly make, even if I don't have a 4K screen, I could super sample the resolution and then do 4K streams, or, well, maybe not, because my internet sucks, but 4K videos. Like I did with the Fun Run when I used my Xbox One X to do the 4K Ninja Gaiden 2. Like, there's a lot of reasons that I wanted to get the 5090, and the price pissed me off, but I was like, maybe this time, maybe just once, I'll push the boat out and get the nice thing. And then this was the one time Nvidia decided, oops, we're gonna take a dump on everything. Sorry. Like, I hate it. I already had buyer's remorse with my Win 4. As soon as I bought that thing, they brought out 3 new versions of it that makes mine look like crap. And on top of that, I got the 16 gig version instead of the 32, so it runs out of memory all the time. Come on, Ryu, why can't you just run on the wall and not get stuck in the thing? Ben Smith says, I'm curious what new AMD card they're revealing this week is going to be like. The pricing is, if the pricing is good, then maybe that'll be a gateway back into my gateway back into PC gaming. Yeah, it'll certainly be fascinating to see what they do. Choose this. Yeah, gosh. Let's see what this looks like again with the toggle. Okay, I just turned off the old school ambient occlusion. It's not that much different up here. So that's good. So we'll turn it off now. We'll leave it off. Then we'll fight Zidonius. I hate the way they dodge sometimes. Like, sometimes I'm trying to avoid the boss doing something, and so I need to get an obliteration in there for the invincibility. And when they do their little, oop, gonna dodge back, oop, gonna dodge back, really annoys me. Why don't we use one of these? Because I never use them. I used to use them all the time back in the day, but I punish myself now for not playing good enough to not need them. Alright, you know what, Zidonius? Fine, you're gonna get the old treatment. Look at how little damage that does. No, no, I'm gonna die anyway! I'm gonna die anyway. Like, I was thinking, you know what, maybe I'll just get a used 4090 instead. Get that nice 24 gigs of VRAM. That'll let me load up some of the better models. I can do 4K stuff. But then, I just look at that number, the fact that the 5090 has triple the AI tops, and so it's like, you're gonna get a freaking massive speed boost. And I just don't think I want to pass that up if I can help it. I want to try and get a Founders Edition at MSRP when they come back in a couple of months. That's the goal, anyway. But they'll probably just get scalped again. I dodged that and it hit me anyway. I hate that freaking tail swipe. I just have my ways of fighting him, and that is not it. I've never been good at dodging that. Sometimes I'll get it down, and then other times it'll always hit me. And the reason I do this move, this jump move here, is because unless you land in front of him like that and get hit by his laser beam, it stops his grabs from getting you. Look at that, they get up from an Azuna drop. And I have the Sigma 2B, NG2B white mod installed, so sucks that they're still getting up from that. I'll do some cooking of my own. And then we'll just use one of these, because I don't care anymore. Okay, good. We finally killed all the Gaja. They just kept spawning. Oh, look, there's more of them. And I will kill them. I won't just leave them there. Well, actually, yeah, we'll fight them. I was about to cook them then, but we'll just fight them. And they keep... Why do they keep spawning? Fine, we will cook them. We're cooking them. Seriously, why are there so many? I thought it was only supposed to spawn 3 every segment of health that you take off Sidonius. Thanks for the blue. I mean, he's basically dead. Although I'm basically dead too, so we'll see who dies first. It could be me. No, it's him. Okay, it's him. What do we want to do next? I'll tell you what I am going to do real quick. I'm going to run and get another drink because all this talking is making my throat dry, and I ran out, so I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, I'm back. Oh, what do we want to do next? And let me move that out of the way now so that I can see what's going on there.
I don't want to fight Zidonius again. This one's not bad. I guess I could do this one again on Mentor. Hopefully it doesn't crash the game. Because it might have the doppelgangers in it instead of... what are they called? The Tengus. So hang on, let me check something. Alright. Just in case it crashes. Yeah, the lighting in here looks really cool too. Like, it really makes the shiny stuff on Ryu's suit look as shiny as I'd hoped it would. I was never able to get it like this in the Master Collection, and it really bothered me. Because it's looking really cool here. And I tried the flail the other day in the original Ninja Gaiden 2. It's not this strong in the original. It doesn't just lop off heads constantly. It's still pretty good, but not this good. The downside to this situation with the 50 series too is I'm getting sick of seeing 5090 videos popping up on YouTube now from all the usual tech tubers, right? Because it's like, oh gee, look, you got sent another 5090. It's like half of the 5090s that exist just went to the tech tubers that already have probably 2 others, so that they can review. Oh yeah, we got the Founders Edition here. Oh, we've also got this one from Asus. Oh, Palette sent us theirs too. It's like, great, so that's where they all are. I'm out here trying to buy one. Just keep seeing videos of them getting them all the time. It's not good. It's not good from doesn't, and I don't blame them. It's not their fault. If somebody wanted to send me a freaking 5090 and I'd benchmark a 5090 if it meant I got to keep it afterwards. Absolutely would, and you can bet that card wouldn't go on a shelf and await further benchmarking down the road. It would go straight into a PC and get used. That card would get some love. Hopefully not melt. Gosh, that one did not want to delimb, did it? Although I get it. If you're a good tech reviewer, benchmarker, you don't use the product they send you. You put it in a test bench, you benchmark it, you put it back in its box, and you keep it in good condition for the next time you need to run another benchmark. That's the professional way to do it, so I understand it. It just feels criminal to me, you know? You got this beautiful card and it's gonna sit on a shelf. It needs to be put in a system and get some use. Run some games on it. Train some AI on it. Render some videos with it. Put it to use. Put it to work. Should fight some ninjas now. Yeah, nice face, buddy. Yeah, he tried. Came in for a little slap there. Come here, buddy.
you're pissing me off now. This guy particularly, he's like getting all antsy and dancing in front of me. The single charge UTs are kind of bad. Compared to how overpowered the double charges are, I was always annoyed with how weak sometimes the single charges felt. Looks like it's just the Tengus, so shouldn't cause the game to crash. Oh, come on. I could have sworn I dodged right there. Guess I didn't do a good enough job. That's a nice ending. He goes for his dumb grab and I do a flying swallow. John says, difficulty? This is on Mentor. Because I've already done it on Master Ninja. Although I probably will revisit Master Ninja in the future. I usually play Master Ninja all the time anyway, so once I'm done doing all these lower difficulties, I'll end up doing all of these again at some point on Master Ninja with the updated NG2B white mod, so definitely should get updated scores that reflect the state of the game rather than outdated ones. Ben Smith says, it's thanks to watching your videos 10 plus years ago, Dan, that I really got into these games, so thanks. Before that, I only really played on normal mode. Yeah, no, that's cool. I don't really tend to play games on harder difficulties either. Like, sometimes I do, but most of the time I just play the games on normal, because I assume that's how they were intended to be played, like that was the baseline. And Ninja Gaiden is one of the few games that I found it so exhilarating, the gameplay, the flow of the gameplay, that I went back to all the difficulties and wanted to complete them to get the unlockables. And so I've always done it ever since. Even the freaking pain that Ninja Gaiden 3's Ultimate Ninja stuff was, which was awful. It wasn't difficult in a fun way, it was difficult in a screw you kind of way. What's nice is, though, once you beat those harder difficulties, and like, I just frequent Master Ninja these days. That's when I turn on these games to just play them for fun, I just default to Master Ninja. Sometimes I get my ass beat, other times I do well. But what it does is it conditions you to be used to Master Ninja, so when you go back to Acolyte or Warrior mode, they're easy. You have to try to die. And yeah, sometimes they can, the enemies can still sort of overwhelm you, and if you're getting really lazy, they'll kill you once or twice. Happened to me the other day when I was playing as Momiji, because I really didn't want to be there. I didn't want to do it. But it's night and day difference once you go back to Acolyte from Master Ninja. I remember when I first played Ninja Gaiden 2, I skipped Acolyte. I never touched it. And after I finally finished Master Ninja, I played Acolyte. And I breezed through the game, and I was like, whoa, this feels great. This is easy. I recommend it. Play through Master Ninja, and then play Acolyte immediately afterwards, and just have a whale of a time. Gaming Nights Neo Masaki says, do you think it's still Troy Baker as Ryu in NG4 trailer? I couldn't tell. No, it's not. It's the guy from DOA 6. It's somebody else. I don't know his name. I don't care to find out. I'm not bothered, but it's not him. It's somebody else. Kind of reminds me more of the old DOA voice from like DOA 2. I always appreciated, yeah, the voices in DOA 2 weren't amazing, but I always appreciated how they voice matched them to the Japanese grunts. And I liked, the actress who played Tina was called Sally Dana. I liked her voice. I thought she sounded good. I liked Zack. Zack in DOA 5 sounds terrible, because I'm pretty sure it's the guy from Skyrim. You know, the guy that says, do you get to the Cloud District often? What am I saying? Of course you don't. And then he's Zack, and he sounds really fake. He just makes Zack sound fake. And I actually really liked the guy in DOA 2. I thought he was funny. In that cutscene where he looks at the freaking prairie dog, and he's like, Tina, today, you'll be my Tina. And then you just hear Bass go, did someone say Tina? And then he comes running in. And I really like Bass's voice, too, in DOA 2. Like, he sounded really good. I'm not gonna give my Tina to you! Way better than the DOA 5 one that just sounded really forced and gravelly. Patrick Seitz, I think it was. I didn't like how he sounded for Bass. Kind of ruined it for me. I did like Ayane's DOA 5 voice, though. I don't think it's the same woman who was in the Ninja Gaiden games. And if it is, she was good, but... yeah, I liked her DOA 5 voice. It was like a kind of nice blend between... because in DOA, Ayane was always a brat. And then in Ninja Gaiden, she was suddenly all calm and collected, and I was like, who is this woman? What has she done with Ayane? And in DOA 5, it was kind of like a nice... it was still much more like her Ninja Gaiden self, but it was, you know, there's a little balance of it. Her being a little bit arrogant as well. Strife Fair says, no one can touch my sugar biscuit. Ben Smith says, Acolyte is the victory lap. Yeah. I've always had fun with the southern accent. You know, like you know, the way Bass talks. Or the Matthew McConaughey thing. There's just something about it. Nice face, buddy. Nice face! John, what does that say? Pengo says, stuck on Chapter 5 with Momiji. Ugh, played on PS5. Yeah, I remember when I first came back, when I first played this, before I started modding it, I went through it on Mentor and then Master Ninja. The ladies' chapters, Rachel wasn't so bad this time around. I was actually surprised that I did better this time, but Momiji's chapter, that was rough. Fortunately, playing it over and over and over, I got better at it again, and so I got better at countering and fighting those Tengus. But yeah, it's real. It's especially like when you finish, if you even get past that first section, when you have to, to the first save point, and then you get back to the section where Ryu, where the river is, and the waterfall. And then you get all the enemies, you aggro them all, and you go into the corner where the treasure chest is by the waterfall, and you basically just try to funnel them all over there to fight them, and you're like stuck in a corner trying to do the rotate Y move to delim as many as you can, and then hope you can get the obliteration before one of them tries to grab you. It's you're on the edge of your seat because Momiji feels so clunky. I don't have issue with Ryu's stuff, even on the vanilla version of this game, because that feels more like Sigma too. It's, but Momiji just feels so clunky. You feel like something's about to go wrong and they're gonna get you. And Max Muller says, Ayane is crazy before the buffs. Yeah, Ayane's really annoyed me. She felt so weak it was ridiculous. The buffs they did really helped. She just wasn't fun to play at all. Like, I couldn't stand... Ayane, I think, was worse than Momiji. She just felt so weak. Of course, I'm talking about Master Ninja here. Although Mentor was also a struggle with Ayane. I found myself curious to the point where I booted up Sigma 2 Plus again on my PS Vita and played Momiji and Ayane's chapters again on Master Ninja. I was better at them this time, but they don't feel good at all. They don't feel good. Are there any mods you're looking into making in the near future or not at the moment? I'm not sure. Like, I want to do sound effects mods. I want to do UI mods. I want to do a couple of music mods just to put in a couple tracks from Ninja Gaiden 3. I would like to fix the Ryu outfit so that he can be on a different slot. As soon as I posted this, a bunch of people were like, oh, can you make it replace these other outfits? And when I tried, the textures wouldn't show up in the game. And I was like, screw this. I can't be bothered. I finally got it done. Just have it as it is. And if you don't want it, you can rename the file and not use it and then use it again later just by renaming it again. I know it's cumbersome, but like, I got to this point where I just wanted the mod done so I could enjoy the game, and I wish it was simpler. Like in the other version, in the Master Collection, if you want it to take up another slot, you just rename it to replace another data file. And I thought I could just rename it to be in the Ryu_I folder that would replace it was either the Dragon Muscle Suit or the Fiend outfit. And I did that, and then I had texture issues, and I was just like, screw it. I can't be bothered. Because I'm out of my depth with this stuff anyway. Like, that's why I had to bother Koenji to help me with a bunch of stuff, and why I had to have Heisei port the model first before I did all the textures. I mostly have no idea what I'm doing with Unreal stuff. It's like, I figure out the bare minimum I need to scrape by, and then I just tweak as much as I can to get things looking good, and then that's it. Alright. At least I managed to get to this point, where I've got the Ninja Gaiden 3 outfit in its current form, looking pretty darn good. Watch out! What's the matter, Alexei? You don't like it? He doesn't like it at all. He's upset. He's very upset. Bye-bye, Alexei. Nine says, I think Koenji's modding tool is supposed to make material costume switching more manageable, but it's still a work in progress. Would love to make my mod compatible with it in the near future, too. Yeah, it would be nice if it becomes basically a staple where future costume mods are run through that thing instead, so there's no replacing the costumes that are in the game. You can just load these ones instead of those and do all the customization things that he's got going. Like, it's going to be really cool when it's done, but he seems to be making really fast progress all of a sudden. Like, for a while, he was working on it for ages, and he was just posting screenshots. And then suddenly, within the last couple of days, it's like, oh yeah, look at all these in-game screenshots. And, oh, Rachel's hair's done. And look at these sunglasses. And, oh yeah, we've got these things loading in-game now. And, oh, it's pretty much compatible with this. And da-da-da. It's like, wow, you just freaking went, like, shifted into high gear. So it'll be really cool when it's done. What else do we want to do? Gosh, there's not that many left. I don't... This chapter sucks. Maybe I should get it over with and just do it on Mentor. This chapter really... This is just not a good chapter. There's like no good fights in this chapter at all. It just sucks. Might as well get it out of the way. Let's do Mentor and get it done. Damon Zell says, you should try the DOA 6 Ryu costume. Looks really great. I have it installed. Yeah, it does. I tried it. Like, I had it on there for a little bit. Looks really cool. It's just the Ninja Gaiden 3.8 costume is, like, my favorite, so I'm pretty much just, you know, I put in all the effort to make it, too, you know, to get it looking good, so... Just want to... I mean, look at how cool that looks. Look at how good that looks. Oh, man. Those textures on that headgear. I mean, look at this. In the dark, it looks really cool, too. The shininess. Yeah, this chapter just sucks. Come along with me in this terrible, not-so-joyous ride. Is that all the bugs? We got no more, right? Yeah, good. Wait. Yeah, okay, good. Don't forget, guys, if you want to ask me anything or mention something to me, put @DanGavsterGames at the beginning, and then it pops up in orange, and it's a lot easier for me to see. I wonder what this chapter looks like if I turn on the old ambient occlusion thing. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Everything just gets a little lighter and a little more blue. What about lumen at max quality? I don't really notice a difference there. What about bloom at max quality? Yeah, just the same thing. Makes it slightly darker. Not much change there. Although it'll be... I'll see what it looks like when we get to the daytime section of this level. Oh, Ryu, you gotta get the stairs. Come on. Get up those stairs. Oh yeah, and one other sound effect I replaced when I did the jump sound effects. When he does this move, the sound is different. They use the Ninja Gaiden 3 swing sound in this game, in Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. But it doesn't sound the same as the version from Ninja Gaiden 3. They used a different sound. It's the same with this move. In Ninja Gaiden 3, it's a... not a... It's not 3 swipe sounds. And I was thinking, why does that sound so off? And I listened to the original in Ninja Gaiden 2, and it's the same thing. It's a weird triple... And yet, in Ninja Gaiden 3, it makes a different sound. It's just like a double swoosh that sounds better. But when I was looking through the game files to try and replace that, I couldn't find it. But that's when I noticed this. So I replaced this noise with the Ninja Gaiden 3 one as well. So that's sounds a little bit better. Because he makes the same noise for this move. Man, I wish some of the combos from Ninja Gaiden 3 were in this. Like this move here, where he does that move at the end of it. There's a move where you can go, you press forward X and then Y, and he'll immediately do that sort of backflip slash move, and then go up for a throw, and then do a drop, and it's awesome. I'd love to have some of that stuff in this. Nice searchlights, guys. Man, this section's so annoying. Oh, wow. I love it when you stand on the boat. It, like, bobs up and down. I can't remember if it did that in the original. I don't think so. Let me know if I'm wrong. If anybody that likes this chapter more than I do that would care to notice that. Because I'm pretty sure it's rock solid in the original version. There's no physics. Get off! There's a freaking wall in the way! And they... What's annoying about this fight is as soon as you kill a guy in one section and you leave, they respawn and then you gotta backtrack, go all the way over. Oh look, there's a rocket guy, he's back over there. Rocket guys are annoying enough without them reoccurring. Anthony Sledge says, and Fiend Booster's working on the bow UT now. Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty neat. Yeah, he's doing some really good stuff. Makes me wish I knew all the things that he knew. I'd help out. But, you know, I know nothing. So I can't do anything. Except come up with stupid ideas. There is a bunch of chests back there in that other section, but I don't care enough to go back and open them. So now that we have the... Oh, there's guys over there first. Let's get rid of them. Any more, or is that it? That's it. Okay. So, let's see what this section looks like with the old ambient occlusion thing turned on. Yeah, yeah. Oh, man. It's not the same at all. Look at the difference. That's crazy. Although, to be fair, this may also be what it looks like just if you change the lighting settings in the menu to standard or light. I'm pretty sure it falls back to old school ambient occlusion and stops using lumen. And so that's why the lighting... Because I remember somebody mentioned, oh, if you play the game on light settings, everything has a kind of blue look. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. It's just a little more convenient for me to use this other tool to toggle it on and off faster. I am a sucker for good lighting, though. I really am. I'm actually curious how good they could make this look if instead of using Unreal 5 as a graphical wrapper, they use Unreal 3. Not even 4, but Unreal 3. When you think of how good Batman Arkham Knight looked on PC, I'd be really curious to see how performant, but how good they could make Ninja Gaiden 2 look if they put Unreal 3 on top of it. And just used a bunch of clever techniques from Unreal 3 to make the graphics look nice. Because I remember some of the sections in Remember Me, which was an Unreal Engine 3 game, looked really good. And that game had a really good soundtrack, too. It's a shame the fighting in that game felt really mediocre, but I like the concept of that game. And I like the woman who voiced the main character, Nilin. Her name is Kiza Burrows. She was so good in that because she's a live-action actor. Like, that's why. So I really liked her performance in that game. Even if it was a B game, it really wasn't, you know, wasn't top tier or anything, but I don't think it did very well either. But I enjoyed it. Great voice acting from the main protagonist. Great soundtrack. Some nice, pretty nice graphics. Zipman X says, probably won't look all that different, as this game doesn't need real-time GI like an open-world game, can pre-bake it all. Yeah, exactly. So I'd be curious with older tech that's less performance-heavy, how good they could make this look. And I remember the lighting in Unreal Engine 3 looking pretty cool. It was always Ninja Gaiden that lacked good lighting. Like, Ninja Gaiden did the thing that DOA did. It had, like, high-quality assets. Like, you had details in geometry and character models that you wouldn't expect them to be. Rather than, like, fancy lighting or lots of normal maps on everything. But then that kind of changed with Ninja Gaiden 3. There were lots of normal maps and stuff. Like, there are parts in Ninja Gaiden 3 where the graphics holds up. But then there are other parts where it looks like garbage. And unfortunately, the daytime sections is one of those times. The jungle chapter looks awful. All the static foliage and the lighting just not looking very good. Come on, little buggies. Cluster up for me so that I can take you all down in one shot. Gotta get together. Not So Safe for Work says, is DOA still worth playing? I mean, if you like it. Depends on which one you want to play. Like, I'm kind of old school. My favorite was DOA 2 Ultimate and DOA 3. Those were my favorites. Even DOA 4 felt a little off to me compared to how DOA 2 and DOA 3 were. And so I always gravitated back to those. And that's where my nostalgia is. And so the only thing I really enjoyed about DOA 5 was, like, I thought Ayane looked good. Like, I liked her updated appearance. I liked Rachel's appearance in that game. Kasumi as well. I thought I liked Tina's updated appearance, but over time I didn't like it. I didn't like how she sounded. I didn't like how she looked anymore. Just didn't look right. I hated what they did with Zack and Lisa. And so I just always went backwards. I always went back to the old ones. I also liked Christie's voice in Dead or Alive Extreme 2. I thought she sounded really good in that. I remember talking about it when I was playing, when I did my April Fool's video a long time ago where I played Dead or Alive Extreme 2. That was a funny video. Ryu, just do the graveyard spin. Come here. Can I kick off this? No. That's another thing I'd love to go and fix. Like, if I was making Ninja Gaiden 4, I would take the best of Ninja Gaiden 1, Ninja Gaiden 2, and all the good additions that Ninja Gaiden 3 brought to the table, and Razor's Edge, and put them into one game that just highlights them at their best, and really emphasize Ninja Gaiden's feeling of weight and speed. And make it really visceral in the way it feels, like really satisfying. Because I understand what they were doing with the Steel on Bone. They wanted to involve the player more in something that they wanted you to really feel that obliteration, basically, which is what the Steel on Bone was. It was like you giving the player the chance to control the feedback of it. I just think it was a kind of whiffed implementation, and they could have done a better job of it. And so I like the idea of trying to make it feel more visceral, but just not fundamentally changing the game. Give it really good graphics, like better than this. You know, really good, high detail, realistic looking. There's a way to do it right. And I would have made the story a simpler, you know, Ryu just fights off evil again. Like I was talking about earlier in the stream. With like the lieutenants and stuff. Like I had a whole ton of ideas for a sequel to Ninja Gaiden, and this was before 3 came out. What the heck? Oh, that's right, they're not. Alright, fine. I got him! You can't do the thing where you zoom in the Nimpo thing in this. Come on, aim at them. Hey. I miss when I first played through this on Fiend Boost's mod. I actually, even though it was bugged out, I just got in the water and used the Gatling spear cannon thing. Because even though the animation didn't work properly, it still killed them all the same. Let's not play around here. Let's just do it right. Oh, I died. Wow, come on, man. Got stuck on that freaking move there. Can't forget that I'm on Mentor. Getting lazy. Let's just use this and then just do this. That's the way to do it. He hit the bug with the cannonball. It sucks that it didn't explode the bug. You just don't want to go down, do you, buddy? You get the full treatment. Let's have a look and see how terrible this place looks if we turn on the old ambient occlusion. Yeah, you see, that's the worst offender. It's the way that all the stuff in the background just looks kind of weird and blue. It doesn't look right. That is so strange. It makes everything look almost unlit. It's really weird. I mean, if you had it like this by default, you might not even notice after a while, but it's not right. Especially when you have that instead, that's so much better. Yeah, I'll tell you, I mean, this Unreal 5 does have really nice lighting. I'll give it that. Comes at the cost of all the sort of temporal resolution stuff, though, where it looks kind of grainy with high motion. Less noticeable if you're playing at higher resolution, I guess. Let me move that thing out of the way. There, that's better. I thought maybe I could have sworn there was a chest over there, but I guess not. Yeah, it's nice to have the model working in cutscenes. Never bothered with it in the Master Collection because, again, I'm not the one who can actually port the models. I was just modifying a port that the one guy did. And it uses different cutscene models, and so I just didn't have the capability of making a cutscene version. Somebody asked for it, but I just can't do it. And I skip the cutscenes when I'm playing Master Collection anyway. Get off. This section does look fantastic with this lighting, though, doesn't it? Look at that. No, I hate it when they get ready for that, because I'm already committed to the move. I can't get out of it, but I see them doing their slow, easily dodgeable animation of getting you into that chainsaw thing, but I'm already stuck in my own animation, so they're gonna get me. Didn't mean to do that. Might as well use one of these while we're at it so we don't die. In the roaring sounds the dragon makes, you can actually hear the sound effect of the... Like there's definitely one of the roar sounds from the dragon fiends that you fight in Ninja Gaiden 1 mixed in there. Yeah, that's a cool pose. Oh yeah, that's about right. 22 minutes, 23 minutes. What else do we want to do? I certainly don't want to do this. I think I'm going to call it. I've been streaming for almost 3 hours, and I'm running on fumes at this point because I didn't get much sleep, so... I might stream again later, depending on how I'm feeling. Maybe I'll try and take a nap. But, yeah. If you've been watching this long, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming by. I always appreciate chatting with everybody. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.